But I did want to get into a little bit of what you kept mentioning about getting on the emails, getting onto the idea of I'm not just a musician. I'm like Jay-Z said it, right? I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get a little bit into that, especially now that you've written a book coming up. I believe, is it out already? The new book from Red to
Yeah.
Black?
Yep. Yep. It's out.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure you had time to talk about really now kind of almost going to the personal side because when I looked at your materials, obviously you have so much teaching and knowledge about the music industry, but I feel like there's another level of this in terms of the knowledge industry and the brand that I guess Chris Greenwood, right? Not just
Hmm.
Manifest, but you as a teacher, as an entrepreneur. And I wanted you to first talk about just the idea of you saying, I'm not just an artist. And I hate saying just an artist as if artist is not enough,
Right.
right? But can you
Yeah.
talk about a little bit first the mindset of you saying to yourself, even without the music, that I am going to create something that's going to give me a platform and a business and a life for my family that does not rely strictly on me playing shows.
Yeah. So when I would tour like a machine all over the place, I never allowed waiting time to be wasted time. All right. I wasn't playing Snake or playing solitaire video games.
Snake.
I
I'm
was
sorry, you
learn.
got me with Snake. I was just you dated yourself right
I
there.
know. I don't know. I'm just like trying to think, go way back as far as I can,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I was always learning and growing, whether I was podcasts, reading, always reading books, right? And just trying to learn and grow. And these things changed my life. These books changed my life. Like every stop in a new city, I would try and find the thrift shop because I'd always find these gems of books, whether it's an OG Mandino, Brian
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, John Maxwell, Robert Kiyosaki. One of my big heroes is Peter J. Daniels. Like so many different mentors through books, right? Especially not having a dad and wanting to learn. And this stuff changed my mindset. Also changed my pocketbook, right?
Mm.
And so it got to a point where I was having some success. Imagine that. You start to, feed yourself good stuff and start to make good decisions. You start to have success. And so I felt like I wanted to give back. And so that's when I wrote my first book, Fighter, and about overcoming fear and reaching your dreams and setting goals. And so that was my first kind of step into there. Like, well, hey, I have something to share because a lot of us, we devalue what we know. We say, well, I know that, so everybody must know that. But they don't. They don't know
Mm.
that. And so, and that is worth something. It has value. Just like artists need to see that there's value in their music, there's also a value in your knowledge and what you know.
Absolutely.
I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this brain outside of college. I've really invested in myself. And so, you joke about picking my brain or whatever, and I know that's something we use, but like, I don't let people pick my brain, because I spent a lot of money on this brain. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
like that. Oh gosh. Okay. Yes. Yes.
you
You
gotta
cannot.
pay for this brain.
I
because because
love it.
because people that pay attention. You people listening right now, you just a little freebie seeker, just picking off my buddy Paul Allen and me. Or are you going to invest in his course or his book? Because I promise you, if you pay, you'll pay a lot more attention and you'll take action as opposed to just a podcast, YouTube freebie seeker. When you put some money on the line, you'll actually read the book and take action from it. And
Uh,
so, big difference there, right? Really big difference there. So I kind of went off a little bit. I don't
no,
know
you
if I
did
fully
not.
answered
The
your
number
question.
one, you are preaching the gospel, sir. You are preaching the gospel, and I am not actually. I'm not even saying that facetiously. When the Bible talks about counting the cost, when it
Yeah.
talks about even in terms of our the deepest part, like actually following Jesus, he's like, don't pick this up unless you're ready to invest in this, like sow
Yeah.
seeds, right? The Bible is replete with these mentions of unless you are putting something in the ground, do not expect anything back. And I
Yeah.
think us as entrepreneurs and musicians, now that you're talking about this, I love the fact that it does pivot a little bit to investing in the right things, investing in your brain. I love how you put that because maybe somebody that's listening or watching this is like, yeah, I can't afford that course. Hey, I need to, balance out my budget, which is understandable, which I'm sure you're going to talk
Yeah.
about in terms of, making sure you make wise financial decisions. We're not trying to like
Right.
mortgage our future. But the fact is that
Yeah.
you earned way more thousands. I don't know what the amount is. I mean, the return has to be on investment in terms of your education has to be 100%, 1,000%, right? Like there's no
Oh
telling
yeah.
between the stuff you read and the courses you took compared to the initial pain that it took
Yeah.
to make that investment.
Well, I'll tell you, like when I'll never forget flying out of to a show, Toronto, and it was a pretty early flight, and I was hungry as anything. But of course, I'm looking in the little bookstore before we go,
Right.
and I didn't have much money back then. And it was either do I get this book or do I get myself a Starbucks and a bacon and egg Gouda sandwich? All right. And I chose to get the book and just eat the snacks that were on the plane and wait until I got the show to eat. So I literally starved my stomach and fed my mind. You know what I mean? And that book, what I got from that, now I can get a Starbucks or food anytime I want. So it's like delayed gratification and investing in my mind is something that's going to pay back forever. Because this is one thing we don't realize, and this really spoke to me, is that you read a book or you pay for a course or you release a song. Even like, let's talk about like even just investing in the marketing of your music. you know the lifetime value that you get from learning and going through those experiences, like it pays forever, by falling on my face learning these things. Like, I'm still making money from those experiences because I learned something by going and paying the money to work with a producer and learning to work with them and learning how to write songs. Like, I'm still benefiting from the 1,000, 5,000, 2,000, whatever I spent to hire that studio. Like, that was like my education,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
While I'm making my music, it's still paying dividends today. So I want to encourage artists, because, I'm not ever trying to beat anyone up. I want to encourage you that, like, you might not see the ROI now, but you got to think of not the ROI today. You want to think 5 years, 10 years, and the lifetime ROI from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.